rest. Everybody knew that and agreed. Not today. Man, everybody said, oh no, Bible had nothing to do with secular beginnings. But when you look back to the founding and you look back to the base that was built, these are the 56 guys that signed the national birth certificate that we're going to celebrate in 2 weeks. 4th of July, we'll celebrate what these 56 guys did. And the first time these guys ever got together is recorded in the records of Congress. Article 1, Section 5, Paragraph 3 of the Constitution requires everything said on the floor of the House and Senate be recorded in public records so that we, the people, can read it. So you can go back and you'll see the first day we have Congress, September the 7th, 1774. And as you read in the records of Congress, you'll see that Congress opened with prayer. You continue to read and you say, whoa, that wasn't a dinky little prayer, was it? No, according to historical records, the opening prayer session in Congress ran for right at 2 hours. That's an interesting way to open Congress, a couple hours of prayer. And they didn't just pray. John Adams said that they also studied 4 chapters of the Bible that morning. John Adams said that he wrote his wife Abigail and said, God so spoke to them in that Bible study, so built their faith through what they read in Psalm 35 that they believed they could win the conflict. And so he writes Abigail about Psalm 35. He says, Abigail, I must beg you to read that psalm. Read the 35th Psalm to your friends. Read it to your father. Abigail, you got to see what God showed us this morning about the 35th Psalm. So Abigail, I want you to read it. I want your friends to read it. I want your father. Her father was the pastor of their church, Reverend William Smith. And when he gets it, he's going to show it to the congregation. John Adams wants everybody to know what God showed them that morning in Psalm 35. But he didn't stop there. He said, Abigail, he says, we've appointed a continental fast. He said, millions will be up on their knees at once before their great Creator, imploring His forgiveness and blessings as smiles on American council and arms. He said, can you imagine the impact of having 3 million Americans pray and fast? Now, that time of prayer was the first of 15 times that the Continental Congress called the nation to times of prayer. And those times of prayer alternate as it did here. They start with a time of prayer and fasting, but after you pray and fast, 3 million people praying and fasting, God starts answering the prayers. And so what they have next is a time of prayer and thanksgiving. And then after all the time of prayer and thanksgiving, more difficulty comes up, and so they go back and say, well, we need to pray and fast. So 15 times it goes from prayer and fasting to thanksgiving, to prayer and fasting to thanksgiving, to prayer. 15 times in the American Revolution. By the way, these guys were so into prayer that by the time you get to 1815, there had been 1,400 government-issued calls to prayer in America by 1815. I mean, prayer was a big deal, and officials calling for prayer was a big deal. Where's this secular nation stuff we're told about today? Not by a long shot.